All right, guys, you ready to roll? Yeah, hands up for questions.
Hey, Derek, it's Tashawn from The Athletic. Coming off of last game, obviously, it's one of those probably just want to flush and move on. From an offensive standpoint, outside of the turnovers, when it comes to just kind of the streak since the bye week, things have been a little bit slow offensively. What are some of the things that you think moving forward are just fixable for this overall unit to get it back on track?
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing was the turnovers. We had good plays. We had some explosive plays. We had some really good looks at a lot of things. A couple other chances at some explosives early in that game. But again, like we talked about after the game, the rush did a good job on a couple of those. 2 weeks ago, the Washington game, we talked about situations, third down. We got a little bit better at that. I think in the Dallas game, I think we had like 500 yards. The main thing right now is that we're too inconsistent. The main thing is that we're too much of this instead of just doing the same thing right over and over again. And that's as a whole. We got to be better as a whole. And if we can be consistent, we've shown that we can put up a lot of points and put up a lot of yards against some really good teams.
Derek, this is Hondo. Quick question on you mentioned being consistent. As a captain, what are some things you say? I'm not asking you to call guys out, but what are things you say to your team to address consistency?
Yeah, it's different with each person. I think it's an individual relationship, right? It's not just one big word that would fix everything. If that was the case, we would have done that, a while back. I think, knowing each individual, especially how they operate, what makes them tick, what makes them better, right? There's a lot of guys that you can talk to a certain way that you can't talk to other guys a certain way. And, if you want to get the most out of somebody, that's just how it is. And so, from a coach's standpoint or from a leader's standpoint, we go to that individual and we say, here's the things, whether you agree or not, this is what I see. And you hope that they take them the right way and, make us a better football team.
Derek, kind of following off of that, just looking at how much pressure the Chiefs defensive line got, how much emphasis are you really putting on the offensive line to really lead them going into this next game, going against Myles Garrett and the defensive line the Browns have?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really good front. We know I've played against a lot of these players, maybe not all at once, but I've played against a lot of these players, and they're all super talented, some of the best in the whole NFL, in the whole world. And, we'll have our work cut out for us. And, again, it's the NFL. The games are they're won in the trenches, and, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a great competition, and great challenge for us as an offense, to see if we can not only move the ball. I think we can move the ball, but not saying that we can just move it on anybody. But I feel like we've done that well. But we got to score points, and to do that against this defense is going to take all 11 because these guys are really good, not just on the D line. They're really good everywhere.
Hey, Derek, it's Paul. The interesting thing about the NFL, obviously, is it's a week-to-week season, right? I mean, 1 week you're up, the next week you're down, and everything looks done. And yet, looking at the glass half full thing here.
Oh, it cut out. I'm sorry, Paul.
Anyway, able here somehow get things going again.
I'm so sorry, Paul. The last half of your question cut out.
Sorry about that. How do you keep the focus going that, we're not really out of this thing yet, despite what happened in Kansas City?
Yeah, and that's nuts, right? It is a week-to-week game. As I know, if anyone just is a fan of mine, it's a week-to-week league, that's for sure, right? Because one day they love you, the next day they hate you. They blame you for everything, and then they praise you for stuff that, really, that wasn't even me. You know what I mean? And if anyone knows that, I know that, right? But letting our team know that, right, to keep that mindset. Look, it doesn't matter if we win by a whole bunch of points or we lose by a whole bunch of points. You win by a close game, lose by a close game. You always move on to the next game. And I know it's hard for people to comprehend, but that's why we do what we do, and that's why, we're in the positions that we're in, because we have to compartmentalize a win or a loss, flush it, and move on to the next thing. And I think that for us to know that we're still right there, and we have 4 AFC teams, that we play, 2 in the division, it's not going to be easy, but you're telling me that we have a chance. And so the way that we've come to work is we do have a chance, and that's a fact, but we have to win football games. That's all that matters.
Derek, I guess along those lines, yesterday Rich said that frustration is a wasted emotion.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's hard not to be frustrated. I guess, what is the mood? What is the kind of the feelings that everybody's kind of experiencing right now, especially you?
Yeah, I think frustration is one of those things that, it's frustration says, like I've said it a whole bunch of times, but, Coach Bisaccia has been great as a leader and as a coach. He teaches you when you're frustrated. Frustration means that you don't think that you can fix the problem. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be, mad at something. But you got to be able to move on, and I believe that. So maybe I've used the word in the past out of context, because I believe we can always fix it. I believe that with every day that I wake up, when I get to the building and when I put all this work in, I'm believing that I'm part of the solution, just like a lot of our guys are when they come in and they're doing the right things over and over again. You want to be a part of the solution. And so I agree with Coach, when he says that, and he's helped, change the way I think on that word, and, hopefully get it out of my vocabulary, because usually when you use that word, you're just describing an emotion, but it really means you don't think it can change. And so to me, I'm trying to be someone that is always a part of the change and always a part of answering or being a problem solver, not a problem creator.
Derek, it's Hondo again. I'm not sure if you saw because you were in practice, but the Browns have been decimated by COVID players in protocol. I'm curious, does that change the way you prepare any differently, or is it just we're going to go straight ahead? What kind of impact does that have on the Raiders prior to the game?
Oh yeah, I didn't know who it is or anything like that. I didn't know, but again, like as you're telling me, I'm going to prepare the way that I prepare. If I have to prepare differently, that means I don't believe I'm doing it the right way in the first place. And so, this way that I've prepared has helped me be successful in this league. And I'm always open to my coaches helping me make that process better. But I treat every game like this is the most important one, and I always will. And that's just how I am. No matter who's playing, who's on the injury report, all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, we're all professional football players, and everybody's capable.
All right. Thank you, Derek.
Yep. Thank you.
Malcolm, I know early on in the season you weren't getting many chances to play in actual games, but these last couple of weeks you got a chance to get out there and you had sacks in back-to-back games. What's that experience just kind of been like, finally getting out there for the first time, and what's it been like to have that kind of early success?
It feels amazing. Practicing every day. The way we practice in the D-line room is that everybody's like the guy, everybody's up. So it's good to finally get on the field and make some plays.
Malcolm, kind of following off of that, was there any sort of frustration that kind of came with having to wait your turn to be able to play this late in the season, or was it just you trusting the process throughout the whole time?
I wouldn't say frustration. I would say obviously I've been playing football for forever, so obviously you want to play, you want to make plays and stuff like that. But I did understand that I needed to mature, I needed to stay the course and stuff like that. So there's most definitely things I need to learn.
Malcolm, Sam Gordon here, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Thank you for the time today. Just if you had to reflect, on that first part of the season when you weren't playing, what kind of specifics were you focusing on? Where do you feel like you needed to improve the most, and what do you think kept you off the field earlier in the season that you are better at now, and hence why you're on the field?
I think my main focus, towards the beginning of the season, was finding a routine that worked for myself. Coming to the league, talking to people like Jan, Max, people that had success in the league. A lot of the times they say what really helps them is staying to their routine. And I know from college I never had a routine, so just developing that kind of gave me kind of tunnel vision of things that I need to work on and things that I need to do week by week. So.
This is Hondo Carpenter from Sports Illustrated. Just curious, a lot of coaches believe that success is contagious. Did you see that first impact game allowed you to maybe play with even more confidence in game two?
I wouldn't even say the games gave me confidence. I just think the things I was doing in practice gave me confidence. I think me making the plays on like those Sunday games, like it wasn't like that was the finished product that people saw. It was more like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, me, working my tail off trying to get better. So.
Hey, Malcolm, Paul Gutierrez here from ESPN. You know, the flip side to having to sit and wait and watch and, you know, marinate in not being able to play is that you're fresh. How much fresher do you feel right now than maybe like Max or Jan do coming into the last 4 games of the season?
I feel great. I feel great every week. So I feel good.
Going back to your routine, like for you, what does that look like? How has your routine in the NFL changed from what you were doing in college?
Most definitely like understanding the times I need to lift to kind of like I make sure I lift early in the week so I can focus on like football like towards the tail end of the week, watching film, make sure I give myself a certain amount of time every day to sit down, watch film and watch practice, watch the team that we're going up against, even when I wasn't playing. Make sure I study the offensive tackles that we're going up against that week, seeing what their weaknesses is and stuff like that. So just kind of like getting my own routine going.
Yeah, hey, Malcolm, one more thing. You know, a lot of rookies talk about how the game slows down as it's going, or it's much faster than they expected when they get into actual game speed. What's it been like for you?
It's starting to slow down. I think when I first got like my first few like preseason games, it felt like way faster than college, but it's most definitely starting to slow down now.
Did you have a welcome to the NFL moment?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Thank you, Malcolm.
All right.
All right, guys, we got a queue here for you. Go ahead and raise your hands for questions.
Hey, Q, it's Tashawn from The Athletic. It seems like the last month or so, the pass rush has slowed down a little bit. Have you noticed anything different from how opposing teams are protecting against you all, or is it just a matter of you guys playing better?
Combination of both. I think we just got to do a better job with chemistry, being on the same page, making sure we're not behind the quarterback and doing everything we can to affect them. I mean, sometimes, quarterback doesn't matter. You can hit him with a great move and he gets the ball out, but anything we can do, whether that's even get our hands up now that the team, we noticing teams doing a lot of quick game or check downs, but we got to do a better job of just affecting the quarterback any way we can.
Quinton, you've obviously been around the league for a while. How difficult is it to turn the page after a week like last week and then move on to Cleveland?
It's one of them you got to, because Cleveland don't care what happened last week. So, you dwell on it 24 hours. I'm always been that way. And the great thing about this game is, like I said, you get another opportunity the next week. And good for us, it's on a short week, we get to play on Saturday. So the next few days, we right back out there. So I hope a lot of guys just took this, flushed it, or just take what you can and learn from it, but you got to move on. My focus today was on Cleveland because that's our next opponent. They really don't care, so I got to move on, and so does everybody else.
Quinton, throughout most of the season, the D-line has been remotely healthy, just with a couple of key injuries, Carl and a couple of other guys. But who has really stepped up on this defensive line and has really impressed you with injuries that have really brought people down?
Everybody's saying, I guess Malcolm Koonce got his opportunity, and Malcolm been working his butt off since he got here and just getting better every day. So it's great when you see a young guy go out there and just making his snaps count, affecting the quarterback. Had 2 great sacks and just great sacks, showing all of his ability, his get off, his length, his strength. So, man, I'm excited for him just to progress as a player, especially as he gets more and more games and more snaps under his belt and just even get stronger. You know, he still got that college weight. So when he get in real weight room and get some real grown man strength on him, he's gonna be a problem in this league for a long time.
Hey, Quinton, Paul Gutierrez from ESPN. What kind of problems does a mobile, smaller quarterback like Baker Mayfield present to a defensive line that's just, you want to chase that guy all day long?
I mean, what's crazy is I feel like every single week this year we faced a mobile quarterback. So I think we're really up for the challenge. It's always just, even from last week, you got to be conscious of where your rush lanes are, where the quarterback is in the pocket. You can't just be rushing blindly because they'll make you pay. They like to step up in them B gaps, and a lot of times they're more comfortable when they can get outside the pocket and they can make plays down the field and extend plays. So we just had to be conscious of where we are, really be on the same page, and all had that mindset of just hunting this guy down, getting him on the ground.
Hugh, I'm curious about your impact because you are a veteran. You're a guy that leads on that team. What do you say to younger guys to keep chins up and keep moving forward?
You tell guys you got to be a professional. No matter what it is, you want to win all the games, but the reality of that in the NFL is it's hard. Weekend, especially this year, if anything, it's any given Sunday, and you got to be able to just take it one play at a time, and just no matter what, when you're on that field, put your best effort forward. That eye in the sky don't lie. Just keep doing your thing. Say it's a long season, and again, we have an opportunity this week to bounce back. So I just tell guys, you got to just take it one game at a time and really focus on this week. Whatever happened last week is last week. You take it, you grow, you learn from it, and move on to this week. And it says you get another opportunity, which is a blessing.
Okay, thank you, Q.
All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you.